Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. Isis, All That Glitters. The goddess next door takes on a bikini-clad bank robber in this action-packed all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis, All That Glitters in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. A black grandmother in Illinois confronted a Walgreens manager for racially profiling her grandson in a video that has gone viral.
When we walked into this Walgreens right here, I don't know the address, but we walked into this Walgreens, and me and my cousin were gonna come in and just get some kind of snack or whatever. Okay. And then this lady to the side, she said, "If you guys don't leave, I'm calling the cops." And then Tavion was like, "Wait, who, us?" And she said, "Yes, you guys."
So where's the lady at?
So come on. She is, I think, in the back where that FedEx is. Where the FedEx sign is.
Excuse me, is your manager here?
Yeah, she's in the back. She's right there.
Excuse me.
Yeah, her.
Are you the manager?
Yes, ma'am, how can I help?
Okay, so what's the problem? My grandson came in here to purchase something, and what did you say to him?
I said he can come and purchase it right here with me, or he can leave, because I've had a bunch of kids come in and steal. I wasn't assuming it was them. I just told them, you can grab your stuff and come purchase it here, or I can call the cops and you can leave.
Wait a minute, let me tell you something. No, that's not it. If they have every right to come into the store and purchase what they want without being harassed by you.
Okay.
Why would you tell them, bring their stuff up here right now and purchase it, or leave, or you going to call the cops? Why would you call the cops on children when they haven't done anything to you? They have every right. If they were white kids, you wouldn't do it. They have every right to come into the store and walk around and purchase what they want without harassment from you.
Okay, ma'am. No problem.
You need to apologize to them.
I apologize to you guys. I'm sorry for...
Give me the number for your corporate office, because I will be reporting you.
Okay. I don't know the number. You can search it up on Walgreens.com. I'm sorry about that.
Give me the number to your manager.
Okay. I'll go find...
I don't know who you think you are. They have every right to come into the store without you following them around or telling them anything. He said he just walked into the store and you walked up to them and said, "Leave the store or I'm going to call the police."
I didn't walk up to him. I was behind the...
No, she didn't walk. She was right there, but I didn't even grab anything.
Yeah, no, that's why I was just letting you guys know. You can grab your stuff and come over.
But why? Did they say anything to you? Did you see them do anything?
No, ma'am.
So then why are you bothering them?
I'm trying to fix the situation.
There is no situation. You just said it yourself. There was no situation. You created the situation by addressing them, and they didn't do anything to you. When you see kids come in the store, black kids, you don't just go tell them, "Get your stuff," or "I'm calling the cops." You have no right to call the cops on them. They did nothing wrong. They have every right. They're American citizens. They have every right to come into the store when they get ready and purchase what they want without harassment from you.
Okay.
Now give me your manager's number.
All right. I'll go get it.
I will be reporting you. You don't need to be a manager. Know who you think you are.
I'll get the number for you.
Yeah, do that. Next time, follow white kids around. Leave these alone. Hell, you think you are?
Come in here bothering me for what? I didn't do anything.
I'll be bumping into the weirdest situation, bro. Love you, bro. I gotta work at this. I literally gotta be at work at like 6 in the morning. And then go early. I feel you though. Yeah, I'll pop up.
Yeah, kids do be coming here doing stuff like that, but it's never us.
And I understand kids coming here and do that, but you have to judge a child on what they do. You don't just look at them and because they're black and say you can't come here. I'm gonna call the police.
They have camera feed. They would know who it is.
Exactly.
I'm not having that. Yeah, that is.
And there's 4, no, not even 4.
Just a bunch of them around here.
You guys have the right to come in any store you get ready and shop and do whatever you want. As soon as you walk in the store, she has no right to tell you. As soon as you walk in the store, she's going to call the cops on you.
I was the last one. I didn't even know about the last one. If I knew about the last one, I would pop up. I didn't even know about it. Congrats on everything, brother. You got a beautiful wife, beautiful children. Love you, brother.
When you walk in,
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. I'm gonna see you that night. I'm gonna pop up. I'll see you, brother. Yeah, for sure. All right, bro. Good to see you.
I'm sorry what happened to you guys.
Do you want me to-
sorry that I was yelling at her,
No.
but
Do
I
you
don't
want me
like
to turn this off?
it. You can if you want to.
Now, in this incident, which took place in an Illinois Walgreens, a 12-year-old boy and his 11-year-old cousin went into the Walgreens to go pick up some snacks. And as they went into the store to go pick up some snacks, they were confronted by a manager who insisted they go pay for their items at the register she was at, and hurry up to pay for them, or she would call the police on them. Now, the 12-year-old boy, on being racially profiled by this manager, did not buy any items and instead left the store with his cousin and then told his grandmother about the entire incident. And after hearing about this incident, the grandmother then went back to the Walgreens with her grandson and his cousin and went to confront this manager and let her know that she was participating in racial profiling and hold her accountable for her egregious behavior, demanding an apology, and also making a threat to go out and contact the corporate office as related to her just egregious behavior. Now, I have to applaud the boy in this situation for showing great character, because what he did in this situation was something the late David Carroll talked about regarding navigating through your emotions. And instead of him reacting to this woman's racist behavior, what he did was, while he felt offended, he did not act on his feelings impulsively, and instead he applied critical thinking by not buying any items and leaving the store with his cousin. And as they left the store not buying anything, what they did was go and tell their grandmother. And when they told their grandmother also showed great character and great composure in going back to that store, sending a message to her grandson about taking your respect. Now, as the grandmother, who was the one in charge of these boys, showed great leadership ability, what she did was go into that store with great character and composure as she confronted that manager. And yes, while she did get emotional, she did not use any profanity, and she maintained great composure as she checked that Walgreens manager and let her know that her racist behavior was something she was not going to tolerate, as she confronted her and held her accountable. And she also went out here and demanded an apology, which she received. And that really showed me how this woman showed great character and composure and took her respect as related to resolving this situation that was created by this manager who was completely out of line. And as she got that apology for her grandsons, she also went out here and further looked to hold this woman accountable by going out here and saying that she was going to contact the corporate office. And what I also loved about this woman was she was also smart enough to have one of these boys record the entire incident on a smartphone, creating hard evidence to let everyone know that this manager's behavior was out of line, and hard evidence to let everybody know what a racist worked there. Just this woman showed great leadership ability, and the way her grandsons were behaving basically showed me that these boys were raised well and are on the road to becoming healthy, functional men who know how to go out here and know how to navigate through their emotions, know how to think critically, know how to problem solve and conflict resolve. This is what was shown to me in this viral video as related to dealing with this whole situation where these boys were racially profiled. Now, as I was watching this video, it took me back to 1986 and 1987 when I was this boy's age, and it just saddened me to see that nothing had really changed in over 35 years as related to black boys looking to go out here and just go pick up some snacks. Because when I was a boy, I ran into the same kind of racial profiling that these boys ran into that Walgreens when I used to go to lunch at IS 148. They used to let us out to go to stores, and I would run into the same kind of racial profiling at these stores as related to when you go out here looking to just spend your money. I mean, a black boy, when he goes into a store, back in 1987, he would be followed by many of these Hispanic bodega workers who would go out here and assume that you would steal. They would go out here and follow you around in the store, and they would go out here and be looking to see if you're going to take anything. Meanwhile, Hispanic and white kids could walk into that same store and basically walk out with everything, but nobody would racially profile them. It was only the black kids who would go out here and get racially profiled in these stores. Moreover, what would happen is the black kids would learn a culture of having to tolerate being disrespected. I remember back in the 80s, there were certain sneaker stores like Dr. J's in the Bronx where they would hold your bags, and even some supermarkets were starting to do this towards the end of the decade. Everybody wanted to say you were going to steal, and this was the stereotype projected onto black kids, and sadly nothing has changed in 30 years as related to black children going into these stores. And black children sadly are raised to learn to be disrespected like many in my generation were. And what was really, again, made me smile was seeing this black grandmother taking her grandchildren's respect and showing that she was not going to tolerate this type of disrespect. I really loved seeing the way this woman handled herself. She showed, again, great character and composure as related to dealing with this kind of racist. She basically stood up to this racist, got in her face, let her know she was out of line, demanded an apology, and went out here and set an example of black womanhood for her grandson. Again, showing how the grandmother, as a teacher, was going out here teaching her boys how to go out here and deal with racists. I just loved seeing that whole situation as related to dealing with this racist woman. Now, this racist woman has been, again, put on leave by Walgreens, and this is where black people have to further take their respect, and we have to take our respect by going out here and demanding that this woman be fired, because this woman basically was out of line, racially profiling to preteen boys. Again, this type of behavior cannot be tolerated by any business, and if any business looks to give a woman like this a pass, then we need to pass that business by and hold our dollars. It's like what Mr. Superboy says, know your history and control your dollar, and we need to control our dollar as related to businesses that disrespect us. This was something that I put in place after dealing with years of racial profiling in bodegas and stores like Dr. J's, where I thought, I had to tolerate this kind of abuse. But as I got older, I understood that my value as a black man, and I understood the value of my dollar, and I understood that if people want to earn my dollar, they need to give me my respect. My respect is non-negotiable. My respect is not something that I'm going to trade for some sneakers or some snacks, because my respect is tied to my intangibles of manhood, like my dignity and my self-worth. And I understood as I got into my 20s, I don't need those sneakers if they can't respect me. I don't need those snacks if they can't respect me. I will go to another business where they appreciate me and will respect me and will respect the dollars I spend with them. That's what I learned back when I was in my 20s, and I was glad to see this 12-year-old boy being taught this lesson by his grandmother, and I'm hoping that she follows through as related to contacting corporate, because contacting corporate is how you hold individuals like this accountable. I had to do this even when I got older, when I was at a food bazaar in about 2009. I was in a food bazaar in 2009, and one of these Mexican guys wanted to call me Fat Albert. And instead of me getting into it with that idiot, what I did was I contacted corporate, and corporate dealt with the whole situation and even sent me gift certificates as related to trying to compensate me as related to the racism I ran into from these Mexicans. Again, the way you solve the problem is not letting your feelings get the better of you as related to dealing with these racists, because these racists want to get a reaction. They want to get you acting out of control, and they want to see the stereotypes that they have been told about black people come to life. This is what makes their world smooth, and we cannot go out here and make their world smooth. No, we need to give these racists a hard dose of reality, and we have to give these racists a hard dose of reality to let them know that they are not going to disrespect us, and we are going to take our respect. That's what I loved about seeing in this video, the grandmother teaching an example of positive black womanhood and teaching a positive example to her sons that I see that is going out here presented as the way they handle things. Again, this boy looks like he's on track, and the example he's showing to his cousin, again, showing on track and on code behavior as related to dealing with these racists, on code behavior that I loved seeing here as related to dealing with a racist. And again, I'm hoping that the grandmother follows through and contacts corporate, and I'm hoping more people contact corporate and demand this woman's termination, because this woman does not need to be in any sort of supervisor job leading people and teaching a culture of racism, because when you have a racist in place, they teach a culture of racism to their co-workers, and the way you deal with racists like this is you fire them to send a message to other employees that this racist behavior would not be tolerated. This is what I wrote about in my novel, The Temptation of John Haynes, where John Haynes, who has just become the CEO of Morris Phillips, a major corporation, is racially profiled at the Morris Market store at the bottom of the Morris Phillips Tower. And John Haynes' solution to dealing with racists is to fire the racist manager who created the racist culture. And this is how you lop the head off this racist snake and prevent this snake from teaching that culture to other people as related to this whole culture, as related to racial profiling and projecting the stereotype that black people steal. Now, this manager, again, wanted to believe that, oh, black kids steal, so I need to watch the black kids. And again, this is a racist stereotype that has been perpetuated for over a century, and it's a stereotype that's a complete lie, because when we look at the FBI crime statistics, it's not black kids who are doing the stealing. No, it is primarily white women and elderly white women, but I don't see any of these managers watching white females or elderly white females like a hawk, even though crime statistics show that it is white females who do most of the shoplifting in order to get a thrill. But they'll sit there and look at a black boy and want to say that the black boy is a criminal based on what they have seen in the news, and again, want to go out here and make these kind of statements about black children. and want to assume that the black child is going to steal, when in actuality, the person you need to be checking for is that white woman or that senior citizen, but you don't want to check for that white woman or that senior citizen, because if you check for them, you'll alienate your top customers and your main demographic that you really want to appeal to, but you don't want to appeal to the black customer who is paying money. So I look at this whole situation, and again, this woman wants to sit there and talk about, oh, there's so much theft as related to these stores. Well, you need to either start looking at those white women or start complaining to those politicians who on the left who created all of these policies like bail reform and the policy of not prosecuting people for items under $900. If you got a problem with shoplifting, you take it up with those politicians who created these backwards policies. You don't take it out on an innocent 12-year-old boy who did absolutely nothing except come into a store looking to go out here and buy some snacks. And again, we really need to keep the pressure on black people as related to individuals like this, because they'll put an individual like this on leave and look to bring them back again, but we can't allow that to happen. No, this woman needs to be terminated, and we need to get confirmation of her termination. We need to lay the pressure on as related to businesses like this, and we need to lay the pressure on as related to businesses like this, because they cannot go out here thinking that they're going to disrespect us and get our dollars. No, that doesn't make any sense. No, what we got to do is take our respect, and if they don't want to go out here and terminate this individual, we take our dollars to their competitors, or we start taking our dollars to online, or even the best thing we could do is go out here and take our dollars to black-owned businesses and keep those dollars in our black community. We can no longer continue to maintain economic codependency with racists who disrespect us. Yes, you have items in your store that we may want to buy, but you don't have the power to go out here and abuse us, because black people, we are going to start taking our power. And that's what I love about seeing in the 2020s. I'm seeing more and more black people going out here and taking our power. Ever since the murder of George Floyd, I have seen black people starting to start taking their power. And as they've been turning up in the streets from that George Floyd riot, I'm seeing more and more individual black people looking to take their power. Just like we saw at the Montgomery Riverboat, we're seeing more and more black people looking to take power. And as we take power, we empower ourselves, and we send a message to all of those racists out here that they're not going to abuse us. We are the ones setting boundaries, and I'm really happy to see more black people looking to actively start taking their respect, starting to establish boundaries with these racists, starting to draw the line as related to how they are treated, and letting these racists know that their behavior will not be tolerated. And if you come at us with this, we are going to not only hold you accountable, but we're going to get you out of that job. We're going to let you know that your behavior isn't going to be something we're going to give a pass to like previous generations used to. And people grew up learning how to use like I used to when I was a kid. I mean, we learned back when I was a kid in the 80s, oh, you just had to just tolerate people following you around in a store. You had to learn how to just surrender and check your bags in order to go shopping at one of these places, because everybody wanted to make the generalization you wanted to steal. And what I'm seeing from people today is they're not putting up with that crap anymore, and black people are insisting and demanding that we be treated with respect. Because if a white man or a white woman can come in that store and not be followed, and they'll possibly go up stealing from you, then a black person who is not going to do anything has every right to come in that store and do their shopping. That's something we have a right to do. And again, we should not have our rights infringed and be treated like second-class citizens when we are American citizens who actually built this country. I mean, this whole situation as related to this Walgreens, again, it made me proud to see that there was an on-code grandmother who was teaching code to her grandsons and and presenting an example of black womanhood. That was positive, and that positive example of black womanhood led to the boys having character that was showing me that these are going to be men who are on code. And this whole situation, again, just shows that while things haven't changed as related to the racist, what's really changing is the mindset of black people. And what I love seeing is that the mindset of brothers and sisters are changing, and we're starting to go out here and starting to demand our respect, demand to be treated well, demand to get the same quality of service that everybody else receives. And I believe we need to escalate things by showing control of our dollars. And while we show control of our dollars, we show how we're going to control the resources in our communities. And we're going to show how we are not going to go anywhere unless we get our respect. I mean, it made me proud to see that things have changed from the last 30 plus years as related to the mindset of black people. And we're breaking out of that pattern of codependency where we believe we need to depend on these people to the point where we need to be disrespected, to the point where we're standing up and taking our respect, and taking our respect to the point where we're going to let these racists know that they're not going to be allowed to disrespect us anymore. Now, if you want to see how John Haynes dealt with racial profiling, you can pick up my novel, The Temptation of John Haynes, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Temptation of John Haynes at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. And if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can send a donation to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, ISIS, The Beauty Myth. Learn the beauty secrets of the goddess next door in this action-packed ISIS series adventure. Get ISIS, The Beauty Myth at online booksellers everywhere today.
Support black-owned and black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.